first visit to our fine town? Um, yeah, I've never been here before in any capacity. Yes, I thought as much. You'd best head to the mayor's office. Trot down towards the shore and take the first stairway. Turn right to the wall, and there it will be. Wow, that's like the most helpful that this game has been. Actually giving us directions. Wow, Square Enix. How accommodating of you. This is another place that I totally dig the music. Thunderhawk. This is the mayor's mansion. Our mayor is a good man. Go inside and say hello. How much did he pay you to say that? Alright, let's go. We're still going to go to Windurst, but might as well pop in and say hi. Doesn't hurt to meet new people. Welcome to the mayor's residence. How can I help you? You wanted an adventurer? I'm an adventurer. Ah, you must be Mr. Pierso. I never told anyone my name. Thank you for answering the summons. One of the mayor's confidants has been asking for you. I'm Abelard, mayor of this village. It's so tiny, you see, that all I do is mediate when there are disagreements. A pirate entrepreneur associate of mine, known as Gilgamesh, has had your name on his lips the past several days. He rescued a young woman adrift at sea, and she spoke quite highly of you when she woke up. Finding you has removed one burden off my shoulders, but there remains yet another. You see, Gilgamesh made a second request. He's looking for clumps of bee pollen that can be procured from some of the large bees around the Crag of Hala or Crag of Dem. Back in Lithane Plateau, Konstadt Highlands. Their medicinal properties are highly valued, even during times of peace, and what with the recent strange happenings, you probably know what I'm going to ask. Wrest 3 clumps of bee pollen from those buzzing menaces located on either of the 2 aforementioned crags. Of course, your efforts will be duly rewarded. Best of luck. That sounds like an adventurer request. Plain and simple. Wonder what happens if you just talk to the guy here. Oh, he just... Sometimes when you talk to people, sometimes with NPCs, just because there's so much content in the game, you can talk to like the same NPC and wind up flagging or triggering like multiple quests, different events can be triggered. So it's not a bad idea to go and actually talk to an NPC that you just saw in a cutscene just to see if there's something different. Super glad we have that home point flagged now. This is the guy I was telling you about earlier, where you have to do that quest to feed his sheep. Go talk to him. Hello there. What do ye think of my sheep? I used to chase down wild Indians for their wool, but now I've got sheep of my own. Besides, you need healthy sheep to get quality wool, and I only want the very best. I don't do accents well. That's why I started raising sheep myself. My family mans the shop for me, so I can stay out in here and watch over my sheep. But getting quality wool is awfully hard. Say I'm getting to stuff them with the very best fit. At this point, Mr. Pierso's just glazing over, eyes. That's why I need your help, laddie. Would you mind fetching me some feed for my sheep? Sure thing. You will? That's a braw lad. I'm needing many different sorts of them, and some more than others. Listen cannily. I need 5 Lithane cabbages. I'll say I could use 3 ears of millet corn. Lastly, I could use just 1 clump of boyado moss. Mind and caw Kenny. Well then. So with this guy, you actually don't need to get him all of those items. You can get him either the 5 cabbages, 3 corn, or the 1 clump of boyado moss. And that's the one I was telling you about, where you can actually do that quest and it's repeatable and it'll get your fame up, I'm pretty sure, in Sandoria, Bastock, and Juno. So we'll definitely be taking advantage of that quest for sure. So we came here on a mission. We're going to Windurst. Let's pay 100 gil, and we will ride the ship to the port town of Mhaura, which has nice music too, but it's not lively and toe-tapping like the music here. Gatorade. I wonder if anyone's going to check out this Let's Play and be like, oh, holy shit, that's my character. I didn't consent to being recorded. You bastard. The ship bound for Mhaura will arrive in about 1 hour, 3 minutes in Earth time. All right, here we go. Ship is here. So yeah, it is a bit of a wait time for the ship. It's usually not that bad. There's another area in the game, one of the expansion areas, we'll go there later, where they have like a ferry, and that thing can take fucking forever to show up. I think while we're waiting for the ship to take off, I'm actually going to go to, just for anyone who's curious about this, you can actually go to chat filters, and you can actually filter the, I think we'll leave, no, for now we'll turn shout and yell filters on, and then this way we're not hearing some of the stuff. Sometimes the things people yell are a little funny and amusing to read, but I know when we had that first Rhapsodies of vana'diel cutscene, there was like some guy shouting about donkey dick or something like that. And here we go, the ship is taking off. Back in the golden days of this game, this ship used to be quite packed. You'd get quite a few people that would be getting on this boat, which was always really nice because there are some high-level mobs that can show up on the ship. So having some higher-level people to protect you if something happened was always kind of nice. Oh, the ship looks like it's flying. Good old 2002 graphics. I did one time actually have the game glitch up. And, oh, I thought it was doing it there for a sec. I've actually had the game glitch up, and the boat just disappeared. And then I just basically saw the horizon forever and had to actually, like, shut the game down because my game just died. That was a long time ago. So if we look at the map for here, it'll show us we're going from Selbina around to Mhaura. And we've got some vendors here that sell some fishing, tackle, some actual fish, taru fishing rod for those little taru people. A lot of this stuff we can't afford because we really haven't put a lot of effort into making any money. And we just got some general supplies there as well too. Now, going out onto the deck of the ship, you always want to be careful because you don't know if there's going to be some scary-ass mobs that are going to absolutely eviscerate you. Just to be safe, let's go ahead and summon our guys here. There was one enemy that was the bane of a lot of people's existence on this ship, and you definitely learn not to fuck with them. Sometimes because you can actually fish while you're on the ship, and it's kind of neat. You can see some of the scenery as you're going by, just that attention to detail. But on this ship, sometimes people will fish and they'll catch like a kraken-looking monster called a sea monk or even like a sea horror, and those things will absolutely destroy you. I didn't even do a strength check on this guy. Ah, he's tough. We'll be okay. But those things will absolutely destroy you. So it's definitely a good idea to make sure you avoid those if you see them on the ship. The ship, and I'm not making this part up, I've only seen it happen a few times in my time playing, but the ship does even have a chance to be attacked by pirates as well. Another ship will show up beside it and pull up next to it, and basically like skeletons with names like Crossbones, and I think there's even one called Blackbeard they'll show up on the ship and start running around. They are very high level, so it's a good idea to not try and fight them. But it is kind of neat when that happens. When we do get to the point where we are super high level, we'll have to keep riding the ship over and over again until they show up and see how we fare against them. Heck, they could even show up on this trip. Who knows? If they do, we're going to hide, though. Die, ugly fish. Full disclosure, if I was in a lake or an ocean and that thing swam up to me, I would shit my pants. I think most of us would. I totally love the music on here. Super chill, super relaxing. Just a very laid-back kind of music, despite some of the shit that can go wrong out on the deck. And we are arriving in the little quiet town of Mhaura, the other port town closer to Windurst. And as I said, the music's definitely not lively, jiggish music like Selbina's. So before we can get out, just got to go talk to this guy, whose sole purpose in the game is literally to ask if you want to enter the town. He will do that until the servers shut down. Hopefully that doesn't happen anytime soon. But part of the reason for doing a Let's Play is if something like that ever does happen. I know none of us want to think about that, but if it ever does happen, I like the idea of having not just the videos I'm making, but the videos that other people's are making too, to just go back and kind of look on that, relive some memories. I always love to go and watch other people's videos as well too, and just kind of see their memories, their nostalgia. There's always a lot of people crowded up here for, I think it might be Abyssia or some kind of event that I'm not super familiar with. But in any case, flag that home point crystal. The home point crystals basically eliminate the need for us to use the ship again, but we might ride it again just for funsies, pirates, fishing, just for the hell of it. Our journey now brings us to the Buburimu Peninsula. So this is basically the equivalent to Valkurm Dunes for the Windurst area. So we're going to have to pass through here, exercise caution as we did in the Valkurm Dunes, and work our way over towards Windurst. That's a funny looking giraffe that we're not going to fight. Thankfully they're not aggressive. There's actually an expansion area. I believe it's somewhere on the southwest part of this map. We'll go there someday. It's called Bibiki Bay. The mobs there are higher level than the ones here, so we definitely don't want to be going there right now. But funny enough, back in this game's prime, just another memory, that used to be kind of like the romantic go-to for a lot of people, because there were a lot of people that played this game, if they had a partner or spouse that played with them, or maybe they met their partner online. That was kind of the go-to place. I don't really know why. I think it just looked nice as nice as the computer-generated world can look. And for some people, if they had the long distance between them, that was the best they could get, was having that little spot they could go to have some semblance of a night out together. It was kind of interesting. I don't really remember the layout of it too well, but I do remember it being a pretty beautiful place. Oh, holy shit. I might have to take back what I said about Sandoria earlier. They actually have control out in the frickin' Windurst area. Well, that's impressive. So, another outpost and another book that we can flag as well, too. What are we sitting at for EXP? Getting pretty close to level 16. It's insane how much easier it is to level up now. Back in the day, it was, especially in the higher levels, it was like a huge accomplishment upon an accomplishment to even gain like a level or two. This is basically the Windurst equivalent to Lithane Plateau and Konstatat Highlands in how close it is to Windurst. And this one also has one of those giant crag structures as well with the telepoint crystal, Crag of Mia. That one, again, we'll just come back later for that one. It's a little out of the way with where we're going right now. And there's a field manual. There will be a few goblins wandering around in this area, maybe some beastmen. The Yagudo bird-like beastmen that I mentioned in an earlier video are out in this region. I think they're more further north though, so I think we'll be okay. At this point we just kind of come into a kind of a canyon ravine area where I think most of the creatures are pretty friendly. That is until we start trying to kill them. Us adventurers are an inconsiderate folk. We are pretty close to level 16. Might as well just try to get a level while we're out here. Yeah, just a few more kills here and then we'll level up. I know it may seem like we've gone off the beaten path from doing story content, which we kind of have, but all these experiences will definitely help us when we do that next mission. Because some of the Quadav that we'll have to fight in Palboro Mines can get pretty brutal. Oh yeah. We're just about to Windurst now. This is Saruda Baruda. East Saruda Baruda. Split up into east and west. This, I have some great memories here. This place, as I'm sure it was for a lot of players, this is a great place to farm for items that you can sell for gil. Still kind of is to this day. I mean, some items take a lot longer to sell now just because there's not as many people playing. But you can kill these big yellow caterpillar guys out here for silk threads. Those tend to sell for good money. There's one right now. Giant bees drop honey and beehive chips. On my other character, I haven't had a lot of luck selling honey. I tend to just use that, hand that into the... There's a quest NPC in Sandoria that asks for honey. But silk threads and beehive chips I find still sell pretty good. And I haven't bothered summoning trusts right now just because we're in a lower level area. We'd have to screw up pretty bad to die out here at level 16. Kill this one over here. Mandragoras are also a good thing to watch out for as well too, because they drop a cornet, which is like a flute for a bard. But there's actually a quest you can do in Windurst where the guy asks for a cornet or an item dropped from a mandragora. And you can hand those in one at a time. Unfortunately, they don't stack like certain items do. Like crystals here, you can see they split into stacks, maximum of 12. The cornets take up one space each. But if you get like 10 of those and go hand them in, you can earn a little bit of coin and really raise your Windurst fame because it's a repeatable quest. And in the distance there, you can see those cultish-looking bird people. Those are the Yagudos. They're the Orc Quadav equivalent to Windurst. Each place has its own beastmen and its own problems. And hey, look at that. We got a cornet. Excellent. So I think we're a little too high level to be aggroed by these guys. But we'll go ahead and fight one just so you can see them in action. For like all of 2 seconds. There we go. They drop Yagudo feathers quite frequently. I don't think there's any real use for those. Maybe a crafting use, but until I care enough to actually look up a use or hear something, I'm just throwing them away. When we do end up getting a map of this place, I'll definitely show you guys. I'm sure it's a place that a lot of us frequented, but actually I think we're running by it right now actually. This kind of cliff mountain formation here, I used to go all the way down east as far as I could go, and then around here, and then around the other side east, and I would just kind of horseshoe around that repeatedly because there's actually, I think we'll camp them later, there's actually an NM, Notorious Monster, that pops out here called Spinny Speepy. It's a crawler, like those big yellow caterpillars, and similar to Leaping Lizzie, you have to keep just killing crawlers in the area until Spinny Speepy pops. And I used to like camping that one because Spinny Speepy drops silk threads and sometimes drops what's called a Mist Silk Cape, which is a really great low-level cape for like low-level mages. It's like a level 10, gives you like pluses to mind, which helps your healing, and I think some light resistance. You can only hold one at a time because some items have the stamp rare on them, and if an item is rare, you can only have one. I think one on that character. But what you could do is if you had an extra character, like a mule character, to hold onto your items, you could actually send that Mist Silk Cape to that mule character and have them put it up on the auction house for not bad little profit. I'm not sure what the cape would go for now in these times. I haven't tried to sell one in a long time. And I figure when we do get around to camping that NM and actually find one, we'll probably keep it for our own use, but it's kind of a neat little thing. I'm sure there are much better areas to farm, especially now with some of the new stuff they've put in. But this place was always kind of like my special little place. Like when I needed a break from school or anything, I'd come farm here. Sometimes I'd even like be watching a movie or watching TV or something. And I played on a laptop back in university. I play on a desktop now. I even played on the Xbox 360 version back when that was still active. And they don't run it on Xbox 360 anymore, unfortunately. But yeah, I remember sometimes I just have my laptop in my lap and I would just be absent-mindedly running around, killing stuff at a higher level so that I didn't have to worry about anything killing me. I think one time I actually was farming and I actually fell asleep and I woke up to like a goblin that had been like relentlessly attacking me for probably like 6 hours. And I think I had maybe like a third of my health left. It's pretty funny. Stuff like that's usually a sign that you have a problem. And here we are, folks. The entrance to Windurst. The third starting nation.